A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. As we step into 2025, a lot of us are setting up fitness goals. And there couldn't have been anyone better than my guest today to talk about the fitness industry, insights for entrepreneurs, and some fitness tips for all you fitness enthusiasts. On the show tonight, I'll be in conversation with Namrata Purohit, entrepreneur, fitness expert, and partner, the Pilates Studio. Namrata, thank you so much for joining us today on ET Now, Leaders of Tomorrow. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely. And, I'm even more happy that you're here despite an injury. How did this happen?
Well, I fell off my horse, unfortunately. I don't want to blame him. It happens. It's part of the sport. But yeah, I fell, shattered my collarbone.
Oh dear.
So I had to have a surgery. I put a plate in. But I think I'm okay. I'm getting better. Feeling positive. So it's all good.
Well, wish you a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
But, Namrata, on the show, we often do a deep dive into different sectors. And I want to kickstart this interview by asking you to give us an overview of the fitness industry in India. What are your thoughts on the current level of awareness, that you think that we are moving in the right direction?
I think we are. I've been now training people for the last 16 years. And I think there's been a very positive shift in the thought process, the mindset when it comes to fitness. Before, when people used to walk in, their first goal was, oh, can I just lose weight,
Yeah.
It was all about weight loss. But now I think we're going towards, I want to be fit. I want to feel strong. I want to live a healthy life. I want to, feel good about myself. And that's a very positive change that I've been seeing. And I think even in India, there are many fitness centers that have come up. Education levels of trainers has gone up. And just the understanding of the general public has gone up about what is fitness.
Absolutely.
And I think that has been a very, very good change that I've seen over the years. So I think the fitness industry is only going to grow from here because more technology is coming into India, more education is coming into the country, and clients are more aware now. There's so much information out there, and the good thing is they ask questions.
Sure.
Which I think is very important because, your trainer should be able to answer them. So it's good that they're aware and wanting to know more about themselves and their bodies. So I think we're doing well.
Now, the Pilates Studio has been co-founded by you and your father. So tell us, how did that idea come to life? What was the initial inspiration?
Ironically, my journey started with a fall from a horse.
Okay.
So it's almost like a full circle,
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So I fell 15, 16 years ago, injured my knee, and at that point I was kind of told, oh, you may not be able to dance again, ride again, play squash again. And I was like, wait, no, that can't be possible.
Right.
I was 14, 15 years old, and I was like, that's not happening. So I tried many exercises, fitness forms, rehabs, physio, everything. And then a year later, my dad was hosting a Pilates course in the country. He had flown down an instructor to really just see what Pilates is all about because it was still very new to India.
Right.
And 4 days into the course, for the first time in an entire year, I was absolutely pain-free. And that's when I was like, okay, wait, this is magical. And that's when we were like, wait, this is something. Like, we need to look into this. And that's really how the whole idea came about because we were like, if it can help us so much, it can definitely help a lot more people out there. And at that point, I didn't know that this would be my career, like that it would become, it was a passion project. It was something we loved. We said, let's spread this magic. Yeah. I was still in school, college. Right. And then it just became like, wait, this is amazing. And it was so satisfying to see people's transformation, see people's journey through fitness, lifestyle, everything. And that's just how it started. We started one little space and now we have a couple more.
Fantastic. Now, we'll get to understanding Pilates in a bit. But tell me, when one signs up at the Pilates Studio, what are the offerings? What are the different things that they can sign up for?
So we have Pilates, we have electric muscle stimulation, and we have altitude training. So we have these are the three main segments, I would say. But along with that, all the forms of exercise we offer at the studio are mind and body. And more just where you learn to connect your muscles rather than just use dead weight or brute force. So we work a lot with ropes and springs. We use, the caustics, we use flowing, we use a lot of things that make you work like deeper muscles of the body So I would say the main three segments are Pilates, EMS, and altitude training.
All right. Now, of course, managing a studio as well as your role as a fitness instructor, I mean, it is quite the balancing act, no pun intended, but how do you do it? How do you prioritize, okay, this is what you're going to do at the studio, this is, when your clients come in, like what's a day like in your life?
So my day starts early, and I think that's the way I get a lot done in my day. So day starts early. I start with my clients because nice and early in the morning I start with them, take a couple of classes, and I wrap up classes by around 2 or 3 p.m. most days. Then I spend the next 2 or 3 hours working, back end and studio stuff. But luckily, I think because now we've been in the industry for so long, we do have a strong team as well who helps us out. So on the day to day, I don't have to, look at everything. And of course, there's dad, and that makes life so much easier. So he's like the backbone, And then the rest of my day is with my horses.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now that's talking about Pilates, right? There is often a misconception that it's only for women for some reason, right? Maybe because we see a lot of women doing Pilates. But what would you say are some of the benefits for both men and women, when it comes to Pilates?
So, Pilates was actually started by a man for men at war. His name was Joseph Pilates.
For men at war?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And they used to use the bed springs. The olden day beds had springs. So they started using springs to get stronger, and that's really how the whole thing of Pilates came about. And then it was transformed for ballet and contemporary dancers.
All right.
So I always say, when you're going to do Pilates, you're going to get the strength of a warrior, but you're going to get a lean, long, flexible body of a dancer. So, you get the best of both. And for men and women, that's good, right? Because you don't want tight, short muscles, you want long, lean muscles. That's when you're going to feel nice and open, help prevent injuries. And you don't only work the superficial muscles of the body or the big showy muscles of the body, you also work the deeper muscles. It works on stability, balance, coordination, and your breath, right? Also learning how to control your breathing. So also helps with things like stress, anxiety, all those kind of things as well. So it's a mind and body form of exercise. And so it's great for men and women. And I think world over now you see sportsmen also doing Pilates because they've realized that it also helps prevent injuries. So it's also an injury preventive method and very safe on the joints, but tough on the muscles.
Absolutely. You spoke about stress. Our show is watched by a lot of startup founders, entrepreneurs, MSME owners. Now, they lead a very stressful and, if I may say, desk-bound, lifestyle, right? So if you were to share, certain fitness tips or strategies, for them to really make the best of, their environment, the environment they are in, what would you suggest?
As cliche as it may sound, the first and most important thing is breathe, right? It's the very first and very last act of life. And so the most important thing, and I personally have experienced it, is learning how to breathe right and learning how to focus on your breath. So I would say that is the first thing towards being a little more relaxed in your day-to-day life. And the second you can take that into all aspects of your life, you can do much better. And then of course, exercise, because that does relieve positive endorphins that help you feel good. And I think the most important thing is to take out time for yourself, because I realized, because I started young, initially I would be all about work, that I stopped enjoying what I was doing. There was a point where I was just like, this is getting too much. And the second I started allocating that little time for myself, everything became so much easier. Like I feel so much happier, even though I loved what I did.
Yeah.
But if that's all you're doing, sometimes it can get a bit much. So I think it's just about taking out that little time for yourself to do something other than, your passion, which may be your work, but also to find a hobby, something that's fun, dance, sing, ride horses, any of that. Yeah.
No, absolutely agree. Namrata, you also wrote a book at the age of 21, and I love the title, Lazy Girl's Guide to Fitness, Staying Fit, right? So tell me, what inspired it?
It's a funny story actually, because I was 17 actually when I wrote the book. And I was driving home from college and I got a call from somebody and she said, "Hey, I'm from Penguin House." And I was like, "Wait, what? I don't know what that is." And they were like, "Oh, we want you to write a book for us on fitness." And I was just like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I'll call you later," because I thought it's a prank call. And so I cut the call and called my mom and said, "Hey, Mom, do you know about Random Penguin House?" And she was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, call them back right now. And that's kind of how I called them back. And then that's where I was like, that's interesting that someone thinks I could, already write a book. And then we started working on it. It was difficult because it was the first time I was writing a book, and I wrote it all by myself at that age. And it was quite fun. I had great fun doing it. And it was an amazing journey. But that's kind of how it started. And then I was in college. So that's where the whole Lazy Girl's Guide to Being Fit came, because it was like, so many people say, oh, but I don't like working out. Oh, it's not fun. It's just too tough. I don't like it. And that's when I was like, wait, everyone can do it. There's something fun for everybody. Sure. And that's where the whole thing came about.
So author, entrepreneur, fitness expert, tell me, what advice would you have for women, who are, wanting to start up, perhaps in the fitness industry or any industry for that matter? What would your advice be for them?
Don't listen to anyone. Listen to your heart, listen to your gut, follow your intuition. You're usually right. And yeah, just stay strong, because, like these things, of course, life can knock you down at times. It can be hard at times. But life is kind of like a boxing ring, right? You don't lose if you fall down, you lose if you stay down. So remember that things will happen, hurdles will come, but you just have to push yourself and overcome them. And I think nothing can stop you if you don't stop yourself. So just keep going for it.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12 in conversation tonight with Namrata Purohit. Listen in. So Namrata, you also work with a lot of celebrities in the film industry, and for our viewers, who are watching and who probably desire the same level of fitness and their enviable physiques, what would you like to tell them? What are some of the secrets?
Hard work. Like, we of course see the celebrities' bodies at the end, but the amount of hard work that goes into it is tremendous. They work very, very hard, and there is no substitute for hard work. Sure. So hard work, following a balanced lifestyle. And like when I say it, when it comes to fitness and exercise, people always think about, oh, I have to exercise to get fit.
Yeah.
Correct. But I also have to eat well to get fit and stay fit. And I also have to rest and sleep well, which is an aspect that's often forgotten. So we see the hours that go into training, but we also don't see the hours of sleep that you need, the hours of rest and recovery that are important to achieve those fitness levels. So for anyone who wants to achieve a good amount of fitness, there are three aspects: exercise, sleep, and food. The mix of this is what's going to help you achieve your goal. And no substitute to hard work.
Absolutely, I agree. Namrata, you spoke about technology earlier, so I just want to ask you a little bit more on that. How do you think technology is really reshaping the fitness industry?
A lot, because I think now we get so many things to actually study what's actually going on in our body. So exercise routines can be more customized to people based on their, from simple things like your blood report to, start doing a whole body scan, to also seeing, how your livers are functioning, everything. And then of course we have so many wearable devices now that keep people motivated if used correctly.
Yeah.
So there's so many things to it. Like we also have EMS, which is electric muscle stimulation.
Sure.
Which is a machine where you wear a jacket. It sends impulses into your muscles that mimic the impulses that your brain sends to your body.
And you don't have to do anything.
You have to work out.
Oh, you have to. You're working out and you're
working out
jacket.
with this. So one session is almost equal to 4 strength training sessions, 3 or 4 strength training sessions. That's how effective it is. And it's only a 20-minute workout done once or twice a week.
And are there any trends that you're excited about in the fitness industry?
Well, I'm just really excited for me right now, EMS is like the new well, it's not new, it's been there for 20, 25 years, but it's the new thing in our country.
Sure.
So I'm really excited to build that up. So I'm seeing more and more people enjoying EMS, and when they do, they realize that it's a serious workout and the results are amazing. So I'm really excited to see EMS grow in the country. I'm also excited because we've restarted our altitude training room and we're working with the mask and stuff. So more people are also using that. So that's really nice. And I think people are just in general working out more regularly now.
And that is my next question. A lot of us are setting up fitness goals, for 2025. What would your tips be, in terms of really achieving realistic but sustainable goals?
Yeah. The first thing I would say is always KISS, which is keep it safe, simple and smart.
Right.
You got confused there.
Yes.
No, so always keep it safe, simple and smart, because that's how you're going to, set realistic, achievable goals. Always do something that you enjoy, because that's the only time you're going to stick to it. If you're going to do something you don't enjoy, you're not going to be able to stick to your goal, because eventually you'll fall off the bandwagon.
Right.
Don't make it too hard. It doesn't have to be. I mean, hopefully none of us have a train to catch.
Yeah.
It's okay if those goals are achieved in 3 months rather than 1 month. Be realistic about it so that you're not disappointed and you give yourself enough time to achieve it. And then, of course, I think simple things like, finding a buddy who motivates you or finding an instructor who keeps you going, those kind of things always help you stay a little more on track. So I think those are the few things to keep in mind.
Absolutely. And tell me, what is your vision for the Pilates studio in the coming year? What's the road ahead?
Well, at the moment, we have around 30 centers across the country. So I hope to have, let's just put a number to it and say maybe 50 by the end of the year, and maybe even go internationally, because we have a lot of people from abroad who train with us online, who come to our studio in Bombay to train and
Fantastic.
talk about how they really enjoy our method of training. So hopefully we can spread the magic of Pilates and spread the magic of Pilates the way we do it, as well as open more EMS centers. So hopefully we are able to spread this and have more and more people enjoy the magic of Pilates, because we, like I said, really know where it came from, because this whole thing started out of passion for the love of Pilates, and let's hope that I can take this to the next level and
Absolutely.
maybe have a next book as well.
I'm sure you will. So Namrata, tell me, what advice would you have for entrepreneurs in the fitness industry in terms of navigating some of the opportunities as well as some of the challenges?
First thing I would say is be true to yourself, because in the fitness industry, we're constantly dealing with human bodies. And, well, we all come with just one. So I think it's really important to be true to yourself and true to your clients. I always tell my trainers, for example, that it's important not to behave like a doctor. If someone comes saying they have some pain or something like that, be honest and be like, get yourself checked, get me the diagnosis, and let me help you from there. So I think the most important thing is to stay true to yourself. I think there's space for everybody. I think as a fitness entrepreneur myself and trainer myself, I think it's wonderful to see that there are so many different forms of exercises being offered. People have the opportunity to choose between, so many different kinds of fitness forms that may interest them or that they may enjoy or that may work for their body. So I think I keep telling people in my industry who I'm close to that we don't need to compete.
Sure.
There's enough space for everyone. There'll be people who love how I train. There'll be people who love how you train. So just be honest, do what you enjoy, and obstacles will come, especially as an entrepreneur. You're going to have maybe issues with clients sometimes, maybe issues with trainers sometimes. You're dealing with human beings, so that human error may come in. So I think it's just important to be realistic, be true with your clients, be true with your trainers, and then whatever comes your way, you just have to, suck it up and deal with it. As such, I don't think when you're enjoying what you're doing, you'll face too many obstacles. So I think that's just how I think about it. And if you're honest, if you're true, people will follow what you're doing because they can see the passion and honesty coming out of it.
Finally, Namrata, as we are wrapping up this interview, tell me, what has been your personal mantra, professionally and personally? I think over the last, you've been working for 16, 17 years now already. So what is it that keeps you motivated and keeps you going?
there are many things that keep me motivated. I think one and the most important thing are my clients, because seeing them grow, seeing them evolve in the fitness field, even mentally, I see them change when they feel good about themselves. And just the way they are with me, like even now with the injury and stuff like that, they've
Yeah.
been so accommodating, so helpful, in my sessions and everything. I would say most of my clients have become my assistant trainers right now in class, because they're
Wow.
changing the springs. If there's a new person, they're helping them out.
Nice.
And I think they've really helped me stay motivated, because I come here, I don't feel like it's work. I feel like it's pleasure, it's fun. I have a great time at the studio. I'm blessed and lucky to have great people who I get to train, from all aspects of life. So I think they're the ones who keep me motivated more than anything else. And then other things, like I said, I make sure I take out time for myself. So when I go to the studio, I'm feeling fresh every time. And my horses keep me very, very happy in this city. So I think riding is a big part of my life, and just that animal connect makes me feel really grounded and nice. So I think these two things are the most important things in my life. And then having dad at the studio, I think that's the best part.
Right, absolutely. Well, that was really inspiring, Namrata. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was lovely speaking with you.
Thank you so much for having me, and Happy New Year.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.